Jake Cosplays.
It's rather fitting that I do this one because I am Slavic, Danish, Czechoslovakian, and this one, Korochun, comes from Slavic countries. Korochun is also known as Kolyada and refers to various Slavic celebrations that occur at about the same time as Sviatki. Versions of these festivals can be found in Ukraine, Belarus, Bulgaria, Macedonia, Poland, Lithuania, Romania, the Czech Republic, Slovakia, Slovenia, and elsewhere. Korochun might originally have been a pagan celebration, a time when it was believed the so-called Black God walked the earth. This god, known as Chernobog, which is very familiar to those of you who know your occult, was a source of great evil, and when he wandered over the lands, everyone crowded in fear. According to a 12th century monk, the pagan Slavs believed that Chernobog was opposed by a light god, Belobog, from whom all goodness came. Later, writers from the 16th century and 17th century repeated these claims, and for a while it was thought that these two were indeed major deities that the pagan Slavs worshipped and feared. The problem is, as cool as this sounds, there is no good evidence that these two were ever seen as gods, or that Belobog existed at all, for that matter. I'm beginning to suss with the Christians on this one that they're gonna do. It's entirely possible that Chernobog was instead a vague notion of bad luck that Belobog was invented later by Christian writers to create a kind of god/devil opposition. And there it is. Chernobog was a concept might have been satanized by the church to make the idea seem even more fearful. So while it would be cool to think that the pagan Slavs viewed late December as the time when their most feared deity came down to the mortal realm to bring havoc and ruin, there isn't any good evidence for it. So of course, like the Christians, they always want to take and make their own. Copyright in the late centuries, right? Thought of the time as one for remembering their ancestors, lighting fires for them, and perhaps trying to communicate with them. And certainly, Kolyada is still a big deal for the Slavic peoples, just as all of the other festivals outlined here are their various celebrants. The word might refer to the idea of the reborn sun god named Kolyada, but it is also the name of the sun goddess who is responsible for sunrise, just to confuse things a little. There's no doubt that Kolyada celebrations date back to before the coming of Christianity. Take that, Christianity. So what happens during Kolyada? Many of the same things that we find across Europe: costumes, singing and dancing, doing door-to-door for treats, colorful parades, feasting, and enjoyment of all kinds. In the Ukrainian version, there is also often a possession for the sacrificial goat. Not a real goat, of course, though it probably was in earlier times, and even this is a tradition for Norse beliefs that to eat goat is to have a celebration of when Thor comes down and comes into your house for a celebration for a feast. And it's okay to eat the goat because he's just gonna regenerate. But a person dressed up as a goat who dances for an abundant spring and a good harvest. He is symbolically killed by other revelers dressed as wolves and or hunters, but then springs to life again when a group of singers call him back. He then is led around as a hopeful symbol that the fields will be fertile and a good year will follow. There are games, bonfires, lewd jokes, many different kinds of fortune telling, and in some countries, food is left out for the dead. It's all wonderfully pagan and shows how different beliefs and cultures.
Greetings, my friends. Please take a moment to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and click the bell icon on new video releases. If you want to support elsewhere, purchase merch in the link provided on the video. What was that?